lessons there. 8th of April is when the hand-in of the work will be. The last 2 sessions you get one-to-one, you get one each one-to-one tutorial with me for about 15 minutes, I suppose. So it's a big group, I can squeeze you into 2 days. I don't have, so you know, I don't have an office here. So I don't have kind of the 50,000, and that gets a higher weighting, that's 70% of your mark. There's no essay on this module, which is kind of fun, unusual, but probably more enjoyable. Everybody hates the essay part. I found it a really fun course to teach, and I've really, because it wasn't originally like this years ago, and I found recently in an episode last year, they said, oh, we work out what's in the beginning, and then we know the ending scene or two, and then we write in the middle. Because the thing about the screenplay, unlike a novel, which can kind of meander and you can have people pick it up. I had this wonderful, I went to see another screenwriter in London last summer called Meg LaFoe, and she's written the Pixar film, the Inside Out films and things like that. She loved it. So, and Meg said, at the start of her talk, she said, I sort of say screenwriting, you need to be a good screenwriter, you obviously need good storytelling, character, which includes being good at psychology. I think you also need to be good at making models. I mean, I happen to be a kid who was a bit of a tomboy like Meccano and all that kind of stuff. So it's about making a model.
Yeah.
Stare at the light.
Yeah. I think he just kind of like sticks out like a sore thumb, and that's just probably not something he's used to. But I just missed a bit, like an important bit of context.
I missed a bit of the context.
Yeah, it's like I want to know how it broke.
I want to know how it broke. I want to know when it started breaking.
I guess it kind of adds to that cultural barrier as well, because you want to be in their world as well.
I bet there's subtitles, but they say anything.
No, but that would make sense.
In the lives at the beginning. So films are about patterns of story as well, and different films.
I can't see myself, so we're just gonna watch me walk. But where's my? Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna quickly go to Boots and get some like food during my break because I'm starving. I'm so hungry, and I just need to get something really quick. But I wasn't intending to go out, and now I'm like out in the cold. So let's try and hurry it up. Try and get this, and hopefully I like it, because every day I wish that I liked cereal bars, and I always try them and I never like them, but like this looks promising, so maybe I'll try and get it. Like low-key guys, these are my options. I don't have much in terms of options. There's nothing. I don't like any of these. And like normally I will get, there's normally like Oreo bars here, so normally I get that, but like they're never in stock anymore, so I don't know what to get.
Welcome. Please scan your first item.
Okay, I feel like the male equivalent of a man wearing shorts during the winter season. Like I'm freezing, but like I literally went out like that. Yeah. Anyway, first test.
4th floor.
I hate that shit. That's so awful. That was too funny, guys.
Who's a fantasist, and you're not quite sure what's real and what's not. But it is kind of based on an old French film, which is a bit old-fashioned and sexist. So that's the reason I slightly hesitated. It's not.
I have like a 2-hour break, so I'm like, why not go shopping? It's not as sheer as I would like it to be, I'm not gonna lie. I do like it without my glasses though. That's what it looks like. You know, it's not as tight or as sheer as I thought it would be. Like when I was watching videos, you could see the pattern of like people's bras, and I was like, I was kind of wanting that. Maybe not. Maybe this is your chance not to get influenced into buying a £50 shirt. Don't do it, guys. It's pretty. Like I like the detailing of the sleeves, but you could definitely make this at home. Hi guys. I'm actually having my lunch right now for another class. I have a Palestinian wrap chicken shawarma. So while I eat, I will tell you what we learned today. Because I assume that the question is like talking about our play, like let's say we're going to write and what makes it special.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm not even come that far. Offering to actors, it's a chance for them to be on stage using your work, and because every writer, like when they craft something, you know, they're spreading a message. And so actors take on that message and it can be personal to them. They have that bond with the script itself. So I guess in that way, the theme that the writer is trying to present to the audience is beneficial for the actors because it's something that they connect to. Yeah. It's authentic to them.
So let me see. Who shall I go to? You guys at the back. What did you have written on that scrap of paper that you chose?
What gifts is your play
What
offering?
did you take from it? What sort of thoughts came up in your brain?
Well, one of the things we said was how what you're writing and how it can influence an actor to choose your script in the way they bond with the messages that you're trying to portray.
Yeah. Well, how would you, as a writer, how do you control your actor as a writer? What are some suggestions? How might you do that, do you think?
This is such a stretch, but you know, if there was a script about someone being in debt, and then the actor, you know, like acting can be really hard to get into, and you can get into debt. So I think if someone were to read a script where there was a character that was genuinely vulnerable in that moment, and it shows their journey, and like towards the end, actually life doesn't get better. They are still in debt by the end of it. It can really take on that raw authenticity that the actor can relate to, and so in that way, what the writer is trying to present is like the reality, the harsh reality of being an actor, and that is a gift in portraying that to not only the audience but to the person playing it.
Yeah, it's a really interesting point you make there. And so you might be working with, you might be writing a play just anyone can come. Okay. So there you're just writing a play. You're not thinking about the actors particularly. The actors will come along, they'll play the part, and then they'll put it on the form. You could probably find, take a character like Hamlet. All of us in this room could probably find something in our life that resonates with something in Hamlet's life. Okay. They take it literally and try to create some projection at the back of time passing and buildings rise and fall.
Hey guys, it is 6:30. I'm in my bedroom and my name is Sapphire and this is my design. So I never actually fully gave an intro, so hello, welcome. A bit late. Anyway, yeah. So today we're going to talk about uni, and what I did today had screenwriting and playwriting. Now screenwriting is basically focusing on script work within the film industry and shows. The assignment is to write a treatment. Now I'm not too familiar with what a treatment is. Around 2 pages, I believe. Average treatment is around 4 pages. So something for like a uni task I need to consider is actually getting a better understanding of what a treatment exactly is. The lesson followed was quite, you know what, it's probably the most lecture-ish seminar I've had. Now what you just watched was a seminar, it's not a lecture. I don't have any lectures. Let's see some of the type there. It's kind of so yeah, I also did playwriting, which I really enjoy. One of my greatest loves is plays. I love watching plays. The plays that I have watched, and this is the plays I've watched in real life. Like I have gone to a theatre and watched Medea, The Double Act, Salome, one more, The Duchess of Malfi. So we've got The Double Act, The Duchess of Malfi, Salome and Medea. Those are the 4 that I have gone personally to watch, and I would say out of all of them, Salome, which was my pick by the way. So I went with a group of my favourite girls, and I picked Salome because I enjoy Oscar Wilde's plays,
and I love Oscar Wilde's work. And yeah, so we went to watch, and it was one of the most thrilling, most spectacular plays I've ever experienced. Outside of that, well, I have also tapped into A Streetcar Named Desire, which is a much loved play of mine. I studied this for A-level English literature. So incredible. Plastic theatre is a much loved technique within playwriting, and so I'm very excited to be able to potentially dabble in plastic theatre myself with playwriting as a module. So I am kind of going off the rails right here. We'll go back to screenwriting. What the seminar was, it focused on the introduction to a script and how to write a script, and the idea that a script is not based on a singular spark. It is not based on some spectacular idea that comes to mind in the middle of like in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. An idea is what is built. So you've got your characters, you've got your background, you've got the location, the music, everything builds up the idea. This is what I had learned in today's seminar. There are 3 things that move this idea forward within when you are writing a script for screenwriting. Use of a physical body, the use of a physical object, and I've forgotten. I've got my notes here. You know what my outfit is really reminding me of? What's that guy? You know, oh my god, I even have the book. So the use of dialogue, physical body, and physical objects. So now an object can be very important. We'll take a streetcar for an example. The object of the locomotive train, portraying Blanche's decline in her mental health. Whenever she feels anxious, whenever Blanche's emotions are heightening, whenever like there is a negative situation going on at hand, the locomotive is there in the background with her. And that idea of a physical object, the train, is very important in moving Blanche's character forward. It is very small dialogue, by the way, very small stage direction, where it literally, I'm pretty sure, just says the locomotive train just starts, it literally just says to play the locomotive train. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to keep up with the video because I'm running out of storage. But the idea of physical objects is important, same as the idea of a physical body itself. You know, without Blanche, there is no engine to move the script forward. And dialogue is also an important aspect. It is incredibly important. You know, lack of dialogue is important, the same as dialogue is important. So we need to consider that lack of dialogue. You know, there can be no words spoken, and so you really have to put your all into the physical body and the physical object in order to move and have that engine running, you know. So that is what I did in screenwriting, and it was really interesting. So the next module is forms of writing, where this focuses more on plays specifically, which is my love. Basically, to summarize the entire module, a play is very different. You have to entertain your audience because unlike a book, unlike a film, unlike a musical, you have to stay in one place as the audience, as the viewer, and you have to sit through that entire play. When you go to experience a play at the theatre, you know, they take you in, they shut the doors, the lights go off, and you sit and watch. Now with the musical, you've got the flamboyance, you've got the songs, you know. Musicals are also, I feel, people who are into musicals, they are really into musicals. I have a friend who's very into musicals, much more than plays, like myself. I'm more into plays, she's more into musicals. I cannot get into musicals. It's awful, it's annoying, it's just awful to experience. But she loves it. It's just beautiful for her, and that is really beautiful. But it's not something I enjoy. So in that way, I feel like people who are into musicals, they have a real passion for it, and so they can stay in that hall. Musicals are long. I don't know how they do it actually. But with a book, you know, the chapters run like this. You've got the beginning, you've got the heightened tension. You've got the end all in one chapter, but we've got several chapters. You can put it down, you can pick it up. You have that ability to choose when to immerse yourself in this media. Whereas with a play, you have to stay, you have to watch. You can't just leave half, or I mean you can, but like ideally you stay and you watch through the whole thing. So that puts a lot of pressure on the writer to craft a script that will, you know, have the audience immerse themselves. The same way I felt with Medea. I had barely realised, hey, we've actually finished the play. It felt so quick because I enjoyed it so much. In plays, there needs to be chain, cause and consequence. So I am just looking at my notes right now. So if I'm looking down, that's because I'm looking at my notes. So with plays, we have a chain, which is the driving force. We have the cause and we have the consequence. What makes a play interesting is the stakes a character goes through. My professor, he gave a very good example of a clubber and a bouncer. We role played, guys, we role played. I love role play. So we role played. I was with like, it's really funny because there were 2 other girls on my table and it was us 3, and they are hijabis. And so we were role playing as the clubber and the bouncer. So immediately they were like, you're the clubber. And they were the bouncer, which I'm like, fair enough. So yeah, it was just very cute and funny. So what we did was we role played clubber and bouncer, and we had different levels of tension where from 1 to 7. So if you are a 1 as a clubber, that means you're really meek, you're really mild. Hey, can I go into the club? No, the bouncer says. Oh, okay, no, that's fine. And then we slowly dabble as the clubber goes up in the scale, the bouncer will go down in the scale. You know, it's very much like a let me in, and the bouncer will be like, sure. But we have that stagnant idea of like when we are both at either 1, both of us, clubber and bouncer, or 7, clubber and bouncer. You know, we're going back and forth, we're bickering, we're arguing, we're mild. Oh, can I go in? Oh, yeah, I think so. Oh, maybe not. Oh, are you sure? Oh, you know, like it's just constant, like we don't get anywhere within the script. We don't get anywhere. We don't move. There is no engine running. So that's why as a writer, you need to understand what level of dialogue, like what kind of dialogue are you choosing to have with your characters. They cannot be the same dialogue. They cannot be on the same level. One has to be more, one has to be less. It doesn't matter who. There needs to be entertainment in that way. There needs to also be a level of choice. You know, you have to give your character, your character is real. Your character is real. They have life and they have choices, and in life you have choices. What makes a play interesting is the choices they make. When a character makes a choice, it is irreversible, and because it is irreversible, that then removes the idea of like, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it. No, once they've made that choice, it is set for life. They have put a stamp on their choice, and they have to go ahead and move on and try and experience the coming of the future of the play, with what choice they have decided to make. And that choice, depending good, depending bad, is what makes plays so interesting. Now in Salome, she's asking for the head, and so that is the choice she has made. Now it is an irreversible choice. She's constantly pushing through with the wanting of someone's head. Okay, now that leads to her death. That choice that she has made to go through, I want his head, I want his head, I want his head, that choice, she wants the head, has now left her in a position where she will die. And that is interesting. That is an interesting watch. It was certainly interesting for me. I heavily recommend Salome to everyone. So that is the end of my lesson of what I learnt today at uni. Anyway, have a lovely day. Live love life. Bye guys.